This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Hey guys, Keith Engel for TGI Sports Talk with my weekly vlog right here on Northeast Streaming Sports. You can also catch these on demand on Roku on the Northeast Streaming Sports app. Make sure you're downloading that. I don't know if it's called an app or not, but if you've got Roku stick or you've got a Roku TV, you can certainly subscribe to Northeast Streaming Sports at no charge right now. Get in here while it's no charge, guys. A lot of good content. All of my shows are rebroadcast. My live shows are rebroadcast, as all of the Northeast Streaming Sports shows are. Some of them are air live. And my vlogs are there on demand as well as the podcast destinations, iHeartRadio, Spotify, etc. Guys, today I want to chat a little bit about the sports broadcasting landscape, and we'll focus on the NFL because I guess that's where it's the most outrageous. You know, Tom Brady, sight unseen, by the way, nobody knows what he has to offer any broadcast team. Has signed a deal with Fox for $375 million over 10 years. That's $37.5 million a year, guys, for those of you who didn't go to the Perth Central High School like I did and can't do math. I love Tom Brady. But, I find it very interesting that, as people complain, they complain about sportscasters. I don't necessarily complain. I like sportscasters. I don't particularly think people turn off good NFL scheduling. Let's just stick with the NFL because of who's broadcasting the games. Now, if let's just say New England and New England and Kansas City were broadcast on CBS and also broadcast on Fox and also broadcast on Amazon Prime with all different announcers, then it may come into play because I would decide which place I wanted to go watch the game and who I wanted to listen to. But as long as games are not being simulcast on multi-channels, which once in a while the Thursday night games are, but normally you're hearing the same announcers you would hear on the other network. So there's no real competition for the games in the sense that I'm going to watch the announcers I want to watch. If you want to watch a marquee game, you're going to watch whoever it is. If you hate Joe Buck for whatever reason, you're going to watch the game and turn the sound down maybe, but you're going to watch Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. You're going to watch Tony Romo and Jim Nantz. So I don't know how we got to the point where we have to pay these guys. And again, I'm a guy, and you know me from previous vlogs and my shows and debates here, there, and everywhere that, I'm a big believer that people are worth what somebody's willing to pay them. But if we're worried about the sport and the cost to watch the sport, which will be going up, guys, these games are going to be pay-per-view type events, or you're going to pay for streaming services. Amazon's getting heavily involved in the next negotiations. You're not going to watch them through your normal outlets for much longer. And this is going to cost the average fan a lot more money. Now, again, if the players are going to get all the money and the networks have got to pay outrageous fees to the networks, to the league for the games. I mean, maybe someplace they could cut back costs would be in the astronomical numbers they pay these guys. These guys make more money to broadcast games than they ever made to play it. Tom Brady didn't make $375 million in his 20-year career. He's going to make that in 10, assuming this ever happens. I still have my doubts whether it ever happened. And Fox has no idea what they're getting. Excuse me. And he's not the only one. Heck, we just had a game of musical chairs really set off by Tony Romo, dancing with all the other networks before he decided to stay with CBS, and he got himself $18 million. Well, Troy Aikman got the same $18 million now from ESPN to move to Monday Night Football. So, and what are they going to do when Brady comes in at $35 million a year, or $37 million a year? Excuse me. They'll be wanting to renegotiate in a second. And the play-by-play guys are right behind him. Joe Buck gets $15 million. Al Michaels gets $15 million. And again, I'm a guy who I really truly believe if somebody's willing to pay you, you're worth the money. It doesn't matter. Somebody's going to pay for it. You and I are going to pay for it. But I just don't think people tune in. They tune in for the product, not the guys announcing it. Again, if there was true competition where the same game was aired on different networks, then this would come into play. But I think the networks are just shooting themselves in the foot and setting themselves up to fail. And in turn, probably pushing more and more of this towards the streaming, pay-per-view type of thing, the Amazons of the world. And who knows who will get involved next. Apple TV, they've already taken over baseball and ruined it, by the way. These games are unwatchable. Just to shift gears for a second and to go to baseball, and Apple and Amazon. I believe Amazon also has games. I haven't really checked out the games, but I've checked out some of the Apple broadcasts on Friday nights. Guys, please don't expect to turn that on and listen to these announcers. Turn it off, and I hope you can find your favorite announcer somewhere on a radio broadcast or something for the game, because it's awful. They can't be paying these guys $18 million a year, I can tell you that. But they'll be in play for these guys eventually. Now, the baseball guys and the basketball guys certainly aren't making the money the NFL broadcasters are making. But as we get more involved in the coming contracts, and there's going to be a lot of changes to the landscape as far as who's broadcasting games. Maybe they will be broadcast on multiple networks, and then your talent broadcasting the game will come much more into play, because I'll watch the one I like the broadcasters more for. And I don't necessarily dislike any of these guys. Tony Romo I liked a lot. I don't like a lot right now. When he came in a few years back, I thought he was very, very good, very insightful, knew when to talk. Now he doesn't shut up. I don't have a problem with Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. I know a lot of people have trouble with Joe Buck. I like Joe Buck. Don't hate me for that. You can certainly disagree with me. I don't care. I don't need you to agree with me. And I like Al Michaels a lot. And I like Chris Collinsworth a lot. I don't like him as much as I liked him before. And I think that just becomes the familiarity with people. And then they start to fall in love with new terminology and whatever. But, I enjoy the viewing and the listening aspect of professional football. And again, we'll stick with football again. Baseball, to me, I'll be honest with you, except for the Yankee broadcast, baseball to me, because of the way I grew up, not being able to watch baseball except Saturday afternoons, it became a radio sport for me. And I still like to listen to baseball on the radio. Problem is, here in New York, I am stuck with Ma and Pa Yankee, John Sterling and Susan Waldman, who are the absolute worst there ever have been. And they've been here for 20 years. But TV, I enjoy the broadcasters. And yeah, they inflame me sometimes, and I get mad sometimes. And I mean, Tony Romo's work during the playoffs last year I thought was atrocious. But again, these salaries, to get back to the point I was making, these salaries are not to be a hypocrite about this. Again, I do believe people deserve to get what people are willing to pay them. But these salaries are going to keep going up. When Tom Brady ever does fulfill this contract, and I still have my doubts, it's going to keep going up. And as Amazon and Apple and all these other streaming services get more involved, the games are going to go away from your normal broadcast TV, where you could still get it on an antenna. Put a digital antenna up, guys. If you're within a close enough distance to your local TV station, you can get local channels. I get 60 channels on a digital TV that I would pay $0 for. I do pay for zero for. Now, that doesn't cover all my viewing needs, unfortunately, but again, worst came to worst, I could live without paying anything to watch TV and still watch football games. I wouldn't see Thursday night. I wouldn't see Amazon's games, but I'd see all the NBC games. I'd see all the ABC and the CBS games, and ESPN I would not get. But the point is, the ABC games, the NBC games, the CBS games, guys, get ready. Either the cost of your streaming service is going to go way up if these networks try to stay in. So if you're using whatever, DirecTV Now or Hulu or I forget some of the other ones, YouTube TV, your cost is going to keep going up. When I got DirecTV Now, the streaming part of DirecTV, I don't have satellite, I have streaming. It was $25. That was only 5 years ago. It's now $100. So then as they move towards the streaming, the really little streaming services like Amazon, where you would have to have Amazon Prime to watch the games, or a Apple TV, the costs are only going to rise, and they're going to have to pay announcers even more to keep up with the pace. So get ready for it. I'm not happy about it. I don't know about Tom Brady being an announcer. I don't know. You guys can make your own opinion on that. As far as announcers go today, I can live with most of them. But again, today, until there's real competition and games are on different networks, I don't know why they're in this great battle, money-wise, to keep guys in their network. You can just plug in somebody new. There's always somebody coming up. You can replace Tony Romo with a Drew Brees. Well, he didn't do all that well, but still, is he that great? Is he that great that you can't have him replaced and let him go to another network? Because the other network doesn't have the best game, then nobody's watching it anyway. And Pat Summerall and John Madden and Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire will always be the gold standard. And in more recent times, Phil Simms was the best. Put Phil Simms back in the studio. Anyway, guys, that's my take on this whole thing for now. We'll talk more about it later. Please like and share this vlog and add your comments. Good having you with me today. Have a great day.
The Hometown Foundation is excited to bring back the Dream Ride experience, August 26th to the 28th at Connecticut's Farmington Polo Club. Join us in celebrating the accomplishments of our Dream Riders while enjoying live music, a car and motorcycle show, family fun zone, pet adoptions, canine demonstrations, the Fireman's Chili Cook-Off, and much more. Get your ticket